Hey all, Coach Nate here, Fleet Feet, here to talk about an essential thing that all runners need: strong feet and ankles. Now look, at Fleet Feet, we like to get you in the right shoes because we know that if we can get the right level of support, the right level of cushion for what you're trying to do, that's gonna be a huge win. But that's only part of the equation. The other one is building up a strong body that can handle all those miles, and that is what I am here for. So we're gonna go through 3 levels of strengthening for those feet and ankles. One that's a great place to start, especially if you're maybe dealing with a little injury or coming back, and we're gonna progress from there. So let's dive in with level 1. All right, so level 1 is going to be some ankle circles and then some ankle pumps. You can do this on your butt. I am just gonna do this standing up because, hey, I like a little extra single leg balance with this other foot down here. So I'm just gonna pull my knee up to my chest, and what I'm gonna work on at first is just a big circle with this ankle. And you may notice at first that the ankle is a little small, or it's a little stiff, or it's a little rigid, like you got some sand in the gears. You just might. So just think about being as big and as smooth as you can, even curling your toes down and flexing your toes up as you go through. 10 big slow circles one way. You'll notice that your anterior and posterior tibialis are gonna be firing as well. 10 circles one, 10 circles the other. Big patient circles this way. And then once you have those 10 and 10, you're gonna go ahead and do a little pump this way and back, where we're gonna go to a little plantar flexion this way and a little dorsiflexion this way, back and forth for 10. And then once I have those on this side, I'm gonna go ahead and get the other. And this kind of level 1 exercise, it kind of reminds me that everything from the knee down, shin, calves, all the way to the intrinsic muscles in the foot, they all work together. And if I prime them a little bit with a little bit of extra work, my foot's gonna be that much more active, agile. My arch is gonna be a little bit more supple and developed for those foot strikes I got coming. Okay, so we've primed ourselves with our ankle circles and our heel pumps. That's our ankle pumps, that's our level 1. We're ready to go for level 2, which is gonna get ourselves standing up nice and tall and starting to pull ourselves up onto our toes for some toe walking. And we're gonna work nice rigid feet, locked out quads, squeezed butt, getting up as high as we can on these toes, going back and forth. Now in the beginning, just lifting your heels off the ground a little bit is gonna be enough for those foot and ankles. But as you get better, I want you to really think about pulling yourself up as much as you can. And a few things are gonna happen. A big limiter for us as runners is actually our big toe extension and flexibility. We need this toe to be able to flex back pretty darn far. And so by me kind of going up here on my toe, I'm asking for that range of motion, and I'm asking to be able to strengthen and control that range. You may notice that when your big toes are stiff, you're gonna go up and your feet are gonna curl out this way because it's a little bit easier, or they're gonna go out like this. But I want you to go straight on with your heel toe walking, and this is gonna be that big piece there. So start 10 to 20 quality steps. This is gonna be more just about awareness of, can I keep my feet nice and straight? Can I increase that big toe extension, and can I keep those heels nice and lifted off the ground for those 10 to 20 steps per side? And then I'm gonna do the same thing with my heels, pulling my toes back up towards my knee, really getting into those arches, right? If the toe extension is gonna be more about the calf, the heel walking is gonna be a little bit more about the anterior of the shin. We spend so much time in shoes that are sometimes a little narrow and they kind of mush our toes together. I really want you to expand those toes, create space between all of your toes as much as you can, pulling those apart. If my toes were my hands, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm not letting them here, I'm trying to let them go here. Big steps back and forth for those 10 to 20. And again, doing 3 rounds of this, easy thing to do before or after a run. I'm doing this beautiful grassy field, and if I got all these done, I'm ready for level 3. Now, if you're actively dealing with any foot and shin or ankle pain, first of all, it's perfectly reasonable to consult with your physical therapist on any of these symptoms, or to go ahead and see one. Otherwise, you can try these exercises and play them by ear. Say they feel pretty well, you can definitely do them. There's pretty low downside or low risk to doing the heel circles and ankle pumps, and even the heel and big toe walking. This next one's gonna be a little bit different. This level 3, it's starting to build a little bit more active strength and a little bit more of a rebound and elasticity in those feet and ankles as well, it's gonna involve some hopping. Now, I like to do this without shoes on, but if you wanted to start with shoes on, that's just fine. Also, I'm doing this on a nice soft surface. A rubber track would be great. I'm not doing this on the pavement. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start with a little bit of jumping back and forth here. And I'm just gonna notice that as I jump, my feet are gonna flex and pop back a little bit. I've got this nice natural spring, which is really what I'm looking for with my feet. Once I have that, I could start to hop back and forth, and I could hop side to side. And then, if I wanted to get even bigger, I could take an object. Now this could be just like a line on the ground, or it could be something that you're jumping over back and forth this way. Notice I'm going up a little higher. Every time I go up a little higher, a little more impact involved. I gotta be ready to handle that in. I could even do some lateral hops back and forth this way. That's a little bit harder to feed. Whew, getting out of breath even just talking about that. Once I have that progression, I can go ahead, wash, rinse, repeat, but on a single leg. I can start just here, hopping on one leg, see how that feels. I can start to hop back and forth over like a line. I could do some lateral hops this way, and then I could go ahead and start to hop over something here. Now notice I'm giving myself a little pause in between. I could immediately go back and forth. That's kind of hard. I could otherwise hop a few times, hop a few times, hop a few times. You can already see that feels a little bit more controlled. Definitely more work in those shin and those ankles, especially if you're a runner who's dealing with a lot of hills, doing a lot of uphills, a lot of downhills. You're going for those longer events, half marathon, marathon and beyond. Being proactive in your shin and your ankle work is so darn important. And look, if you like this type of training, check out fleavy.com, check out our training tab. We've got programs all over that have great race preparation, and we even got some great virtual options as well. So go ahead and check those out. Let me know what level you're at. Where is the right level of exercise for you? What do you got going on? What you're working on? Tag those in the comments. I'll respond back to each and every one of you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.